Hello, good morning, everybody. So today, I'm working on a project, and this right now here, what I'm about to start like working on is what I'm gonna be like working on the project I'm speaking about. So today, what we're gonna start with is just modeling this basic cup and texturing making a calendar out of this and maybe a few pens. I might download the pens, or I might just build them from scratch. Anyways, without wasting more time, let's just begin on what we need to be doing, Let's start. So first of all, what we're gonna start with is building the cup. And whenever you're building anything in Blender, you need to start by thinking about like what shape is the best, or what combination of polygons is the best to start with. So for example, for me, I would choose a circle. It's a mesh type. Actually, that's the word I should use, the mesh type to start with. So as you can see already, we have a circle there, and if I press tab, I go into edit mode and I can start editing it. So we'll start with making the bottom bit of the cup. I think I need reference for that, for the what I to like be able to match it to the one that I just like shared. So let me first work on that, like getting it to the, I was just setting up my reference on screen. You guys can't see it because I'm not sharing that specific window. So I'm gonna pull this a little bit up a bit, and then I'm gonna scan and extrude, and then press F to fill, and then I'm going to extrude this upwards, and I'm going to do this. We already have a really good base shape for the bottom, because if I add a subdivision modifier, it will be more smooth. So, or maybe let me just go back, let me not do that first, let me just pull this up here and then do the subdivision. Nah, that won't look nice, that won't fly. So maybe just something like that, and let's see if we add the subdivision modifier. Okay, I'll have to like manually do this so that I can have a more rounded shape at the bottom. So again, if you look at that cap, it's wide, so we have to consider the wideness there, and then we can pull this a little bit up. And let's go up again. Doesn't look almost the same, it looks like a little bit uh, I don't know what word to use, like it looks like it's a little bit tall. Yeah, that's the word. So first we're done with that. The second thing, I have a subdivision modifier. I applied it just by pressing Control 2, and then it automatically comes on. So the next thing I'm gonna do is add a solidify modifier so that we can get thickness. And I think if the solidify modifier comes in after, I mean before the subdivision modifier, we're gonna get like it being subdivided as well, which is what we want. Yeah, I like the rounded top better than the hard surfaced one, so I think I'll work with that. So the second thing that we're gonna be working on is the handle. So as I said, it's all about thinking about basic shapes, and for me, I'll start with a cube, and then I'll just place it somewhere like that. It doesn't matter, you can just leave it at the center, but it's just good so that I can be able to like place parts where they need to be easily. So I just delete the face, delete also this face and that face. Then yeah, it's only those two faces. So we have almost the shape that we want. So what I'll do now is just scale this down. I'm gonna add a solidifier modifier just to give it thickness so that I can see it while I'm trying to place it in position. So I'm gonna press G to grab and X to lock it in the X-axis, and I'm going to bring it up here. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I can try using a subdivision modifier and see what happens. And then I need to scale this in the y-axis by pressing S and Y. Can increase this. Bring this back up here. So what I'm doing here, I'm adding a loop cut to the original. Remember, this is just it's a bunch of planes connected together. So like what I'm trying to do right now is just create like a hard edge so that like it can be a little bit tighter. I can do that, or I can use creases, which you use by pressing Shift E, and the creases will help it move a bit back like that. Let me see if I add a bevel here, what will happen. I'm gonna press Control B, and yeah, I think I need to bevel this. It looks better when it's beveled. Maybe if I did the bevel for both sides at the same time, I would know the results better. So I think it's not working really nice. So let me just press double G to like move the edge itself. Look at this from this side. Yeah, I think that's decent enough. All I need to do right now is maybe apply the scale, and looks weird. Let me just take this down a little bit. I think it doesn't look really cool, man. It's not rounded. Let me go back, Control Z. Let me go back. I prefer it like this, going back down. Actually, it's supposed to go like the whole of it back down. I want it to be a little bit round, so let me just leave it like this. I can add another level of subdivision so that it can be a little bit softer. So I think it looks pretty cool there. Can just maybe make it a little bit smaller and move it a little bit lower. I think that's perfect. So already we have our cup. What I'm gonna do right now is just apply a scale so that I can have like good scale and work on the, I think this handle looks better. Yeah, it looks better when it's that small. Then I need to also apply a scale for this, and I'm going to parent the handle to the to the cup itself. So I'm gonna press Ctrl P, and this menu is gonna appear, and then I'm gonna say object and keep transform. So whenever I move this cup, it moves like one cup, yet there are two different objects. So let's name this cup. Then I'm gonna select it and create a new collection, call it cup, and put it inside there, and I'm gonna hide that collection so that I cannot see it. How I just made the collection, what I just did is I selected, you need to select an object, like for example if I select that handle over there, when I press M, I get this move to new collection. So you just press new, you type the name of your collection, and then it will appear on the outliner in its collection. For example, if I press OK, see we have collection 3 with this, and this is what is cube. If you come to that and select it, you see it's that. So I'm gonna just bring it back into that by dragging it and dropping it into the cup collection, and I'm gonna delete this specific collection because I do not need it. So the next thing that we're gonna work on is the saucer, and we need a circle. As usual, as I said, you just need to think about the basic shapes to start from and then build on that. So I'm actually not using references, but I really advise that you like use actual real life stuff reference to help you in your creative process. So right now let me just fill this, and then I'm gonna press I to create an intersect. So it's going to cut it, and I can just bring this down there. So I think I am doing something wrong according to what I was thinking. So let me delete this by pressing X. You can select loops by holding down Alt and pressing the left mouse button, and yeah, you see, like now I got that. Now I need to build from this. So first of all, this is a plate. Let's know how, let's give it some height so that it can have some depth. And let me select, oh my god, let me select this other one and go to this view and take this down. There's a selection here that needs not to be there, so I'm gonna select it and take it a little bit down, and I'm gonna apply a solidify modifier first. So go to modifiers panel and select solidify, and I don't know if I have proper scale, but let me just apply. So this is what we are getting, which is not bad. So I'm going to press Ctrl 2 to apply a subdivision modifier, and basically you have a saucer, and I can just manipulate it and make it look as much as I want. Like maybe if I want the center point to go a little bit down, I can do that. And maybe I can add another loop cut by pressing Ctrl R and taking this a little bit down as well. And now we have our saucer. Perfect. Let's call it sauce. Sauce. I'm gonna name it sauce. Press F2, and then you're gonna get that naming panel, and then I'm gonna write sauce. Just that. I'm gonna put it just in the same collection as cup. The next thing that I need to make was supposed to be a calendar. So you know, like those small calendars that, like, it's like a booklet calendar. That's the idea. So I'm gonna like work on that, and or maybe we can do something else. Maybe now let me just build the calendar. Let me build the calendar. So or maybe I can do like the standing calendars on the desk. I don't know how that would sit, but I think that's like a little bit of a good object to work with. So let me see references on Google. So I'm looking for calendar, table calendars, table calendar. I'm trying to find something that I can really work on. Um, so I found a good, I mean, like a good calendar like we could work with. It's a good desk calendar. So I'm gonna start modeling it with the basic shape that I think that will work. So I'm gonna start with a cube. So let's start with the cube, and let's start by scaling into that. Let me go first into edit mode so that when I scale it I don't have to apply scale. So that's how you just avoid applying scale. So I'm gonna widen it a bit on the x-axis and then bring it up a bit on the z-axis, and now we have that. I'm gonna take it up, origin to geometry. Yeah, that means you right click and then origin to geometry means that the center point is over here is the origin. That's where we can like rotate the object from. So if I go to like edit mode and move it like this, whenever I rotate it, it will rotate from that point. So that's the main idea of why that is used. And also in modifiers, depending on where the origin is, it will affect the results. So for now, let me just start by scaling this in the y-axis. Then I'm gonna add a loop cut. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull this up. Then we need to bring these two guys in. So scale X. And what I think I need to do here is just get rid of this. First of all, edge. And this one over here. I should have used the mirror modifier, but it's okay. So I'm gonna fill this by pressing F. Select those two edges and press F and you will fill them up. So the next thing I need to do is figure out the inside. I think at this point is where I think I'll have to like, let me fill this too. Press F. So at this point is where I think I need to like these things don't need to be discretely inside. So right now I need to figure out on how I'm going to select this. Let me create a mirror for this so that I don't have to like edit both sides at the same time. So the first thing whenever you are trying to mirror an object, you need to cut it in half because you're actually mirroring it. So a mirror is like half of projection. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm gonna take this side and delete the vertices. So I have the half of that. And when I go to the modifiers panel and look for mirror modifier, yeah, it takes me a while sometimes to find these things. I don't know why, but Yeah, so if you look at it now, it's whole again. If I half whole, so whenever I edit one side, it edits the other side. So what I'm going to do right now, this faces look so weird. I think it's good if I first deleted this face, and then let me start afresh with it, like so. Fill it. So since it's filled, let's go to the next bit. Select this. I'm going to like press E to extrude and S to scale so that I can like extrude, like I don't know how to say it, like inwards or something. Then I'm going to add a loop cut here. I'm going to go to vertex select by pressing 1 on my numbers key, not the numpad. If you're on laptop, depending on like how you set up your blender, it's going to just work. I'm going to press F here. Let me just go back. Let me just fill this again. F. Then let me take this inwards. Scale this to the y-axis. Let me take it deep bar, and let me take these two and bring them up. And there's a dude being left out, so, and he's mad. So I think I have to select this two as well. So let me take this up. I think this also needs to go up. It doesn't make sense for it to be flat. If I don't have multiple sides for the calendar object, so I'm just like using my imagination. But that's why I was like not reasoning through that. So that's why it's recommended you just use references as much as you can, because they really do help. So I'm gonna pull this back in more, and maybe no, if I scale it, so already we have that. So according to the reference I have here, there's like holes here, and there's like rings going through. You know what I'm talking about. Like I don't know. Let me just show you. I have to like quickly share that screen. Where can I find it? Let me see if I just go to the window and select pure. Yeah, this is the calendar I'm talking about. This is the calendar I'm talking about. So I'm trying to make this specific rings on top of it, and then I'll also need to create this front bit. There's this front bit. It's like a separate there. And first of all, I'll just start doing the making the holes so that it can work, and then I can just duplicate the front bit. So okay, let's start from there. Okay, so let me take these two edges here and scale them on the y-axis like a bit. I need it to be tighter. And now let me work on the holes. So if I go to object mode and add a cube, I have a cube now, and then I'm gonna scale this down. I'm gonna put this here. Once I have that there, gonna bring it up a bit. Then I'm gonna use the array modifier to like create an array of these objects with the spacing. I need to have a reference on my face because it's not on my face anymore. So yeah, I just need to approximate the distance between each gap. So it's 2. Then I'm gonna keep on adding them till I get close to the center. And since I can see the issue when I get close to the center, I'm gonna move this here. There needs to be that margin there, so I have that there. I'm going to go and select that object, and then I'm going to go to Boolean, and then I'm going to select this object. I'm going to select these cubes over here, the arrayed ones, and I'm going to go to the objects property, and then I'm going to go to display as, and I'm going to say bounds. And if you look, we have the holes that we need. The problem is it's not showing on the other side, so that's because the Boolean modifier needs to go on top first, and then that happens. So the next thing that we need to work on is I think these holes are too big. If I like look at the reference, no, they're not that big, they're okay. I can just make them a little bit smaller. And then just add more. Let's work with 9 and give it distance. Okay, that looks pretty nice. So the next thing is the rings. For the rings, I'm just going to use like a simple torus. As I said, it's all about thinking about the simple shapes. So rotate Y 90. I'm pressing 90 on my keyboard to do that. So I'm gonna scale it down. I'm gonna apply the scale again. Then I just need to put it here. I need to make sure it's at the center. So scale it up a bit. And then that's not that bad. I'm going to just add some extra stuff on it, like scale this down, just to make it a little bit interesting, you know, the funk in it with that little bit of dopeness. I think that's perfect. Go back to front view, and then array. And then I'm going to go to 0, and then we're going to share this is the x-axis. Why is it scale? No, that's not the problem. So I have to find out which axis works with this specific. Okay, so it's the Z. So I just need to move closer here and make sure it just goes back to the center. Then if I just go and do the array, it's getting off. So I think if I get to the center, I need to stop, and then what I'll do is use a mirror modifier and then select that, and then that works. I didn't even save this. The whole time. Always remember to save. Control S. Okay, I'm gonna save it as bootcamp 4 because this is like a new idea. So you don't need to apply your modifiers, you can keep them as they are. So for the front bit part, I think I can go and do this Shift D and then move it on the y-axis. I can't lock on the like normals, so let me just do this. if I press P, so like selection, it becomes its own object. So I'm gonna use a solidify modifier right now to give it the thickness that we need. And according to the reference, it's not touching the edges, so I need to fix those. GG to slide, GG to slide. And then also about the bottom bit, GG slide. Yeah, I think we have a decent looking calendar right now, and I feel I need, let me see if I smooth this. Looks weird, so let me see if I add a solidify file, if it's gonna make it look a little bit nicer. No, it doesn't make a difference, so I'm just gonna leave it that way. Oh no. And now we have a calendar, we have a cap. So let me first make sure that this is parented to the calendar. So parented to just the main object. Control P again, and then just name this calendar. Calendar has an R if I'm not wrong. So if I move this, it moves everything. So I'm gonna select it all, and I'm gonna say calendar. And say found collection. So the next thing I think I should do is make a pen or a pencil. So let me find a pen and see like what pen I can like quickly make. Hello. I guess there's someone on stream. So I need to find a pen. Damn, pens, they look like they're gonna take a little bit of time because you have to consider giving it materials and stuff like that. But that's simple pens enough. Let me there's one pen I see here that I think we can work with this. It's called Harvard University. Let me show you guys like real quick. Okay, yeah, this pen. So that's what I'm gonna be like looking at right now. The brown pen. That's the one that made me go back to Blender now. And let me make sure I get this image and just put it there. I'm not gonna have to texture it and have words and things like that because that's not the game plan. So I'm going to add a circle again. We've started so many things with circles. Basically, this is how it goes. You just need to think about those things, the basic shapes and things like this. So first of all, I'm gonna go to edit mode. Can go to edit mode. Oh, I thought I couldn't. So let me scale this a bit down. I'm going to do basic shapes, okay? The pen basic shapes. So I'm going to make one cylinder like that long, and then I'm going to take this by pressing Alt and selecting that loop, and then press Shift D to duplicate. And then I'm going to go to press P and separate it by selection, and then I go to edit mode again. With that, I can press E and S to scale outside. And then E, Z to like move it up. Then I'm going to like extrude a bit in nodes. Then I'm gonna take this and shift D, press P by selection, go make sure you select it, and then you loop select. So I need to make something like a bar, or like, yeah, it's just the same basically. So I'm gonna move this up. I think that's appropriate enough. Give me a sec. Be right back. Sinafanya kazi.